What's up guys, my name is Gabriel, and if you're in the market for a PDW setup, I might have something that you're interested in. This might be one of the most unique platforms I've seen in a very long time, and it is the KWA Ronin 47. So let's check it out. So before I actually get to talking about the rifle, I want to give a huge shout out to Esteban. He is actually Caleb's brother and a part of my team. This rifle is actually his, and I'm super excited to see him actually use this in field someday soon. So when you open the box, you can see it comes with a manual, a couple of stickers, an extra Dean's connector, the extra rails, an Allen key for the rails I assume, and it also comes with this extended Allen key. And one of the most unique and interesting parts about this rifle has to do with this Allen key, but I'll get into that in a second. So anyway, getting to the rifle, as you guys can see, this is very unique. This is basically a PDW setup with an M4/AK appearance. This rifle is incredibly sturdy. The entire thing is made out of metal. It feels completely solid. It looks great. So something I am wondering is that this is a very short platform. In CQB, it doesn't really matter that much, but what about longer ranges? I wonder if this is actually going to hold up. Now, this blaze orange tip is not your standard plastic orange tip like the one I have right here. This orange tip is actually anodized, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So moving to the rail system, this is an 8-inch rail system that is M-LOK, which feels incredibly sturdy, but it is pretty slim and comfortable to hold. So if we move back onto the receiver, like I said, it's a pretty standard M4 style upper receiver with the charging handle that opens the port right here, and you can actually lock the dust cover back with the, what was that called again? Slide catch. No, not a slide catch. And in order to release it, you can release it with the standard AR style release that's back here, or you can also release it with the AK style one, which is on this side as well. So all the controls on this rifle are ambidextrous. So you have a standard AR mag release. You have one here on the left hand side as well for your index finger, but what turns out to be most people's favorite is the one paddle style release here in the bottom. Just pull it down and just rip the magazine out. Now, something interesting about this magazine is that it also has a little follower here, so that it makes sure that all of your BBs are properly spent. Now, while we're on the subject of the magazine, I do want to say something super important, which is a really big letdown in my opinion and a lot of other people's opinion as well. Since the rifle is such a huge mix between the M4 and the AK platform, that means that these magazines are actually proprietary. If you wanted to get some extra magazines, you're going to have to get the KWA 47 magazines, because if you don't, they're not going to work. I really hope that it's actually good, because your rifle can be A1, but if you don't have a good magazine that can keep up with it, then it's not really going to be worth it. So moving to the trigger, it's a pretty basic curved trigger. It is not a micro switch trigger. Nowadays on the higher end rifles, we're kind of used to seeing micro switch triggers. I don't know what the trigger response is going to be like. I don't know if it's going to start locking up on you, or if it actually will make a difference, or if any of the other upgraded internals are going to pick up the slack and just compensate entirely. So the grip on the rifle and the sights are both branded by PTS, which kind of gives you an idea of the quality that's in them. Now moving back to the stock, it's pretty simple. It has 3 positions, which is collapsed, position 2 and position 3. You do not have to press anything in order to pull them out, but you do have to press this little button right here in order to collapse it. Now, in order to remove the stock, all you have to do is press the button and pull all the way out, and the 2 prongs come out. And here you have the battery compartment. So another really good thing is that it comes built in with a fuse, so it can potentially make a really expensive problem into a really cheap and easy to fix one. Now, this rifle does not come with a MOSFET system, but it does come with a system on the motor to prevent locking the gears and stripping them, and it has like an extra level of protection. But if you do want to get a MOSFET, this actually is compatible with some drop-in trigger systems. So talking internally, you should keep in mind that a lot of these parts are proprietary. Like for example, the hop-up. You cannot change a hop-up for something different. These hop-ups are proprietary because of the same reason that the mags are, but it is upgradable. You have to really investigate before you do so to try and make sure that they're compatible. Okay, so getting back to the Allen key, this is actually to adjust the spring. Now, you've heard about quick chain spring systems, and this one actually has it, but it has something even better. So you can remove the stock, and this Allen key allows you to change the amount of pressure that's on your spring, and in turn increasing or decreasing your FPS. Now, supposedly this can go anywhere from 330 to 380 FPS with just adjusting it, which is absolutely insane. insane because you no longer need different springs. All you need is to adjust it. And if you're too high or too low, it'll only take a minute. That is a complete game changer. I feel like I've hyped up this rifle enough. I think it's about time that we take it out and see if we can answer some of our questions. Let's see if this rifle performs amazingly out of the box, or if the fact that it's proprietary is its own downfall. Alright, so before we get into the video, I wanted to remind you guys that we just opened up a brand new Discord server. So if you want to hang out with me and the rest of my team and talk to the rest of the community and just have a great time overall, join the Discord. It's going to be linked down below and in my channel. Peace. Alright, so I'm going to start doing the shooting test with the Ronin 47, and I put my old red dot on it just so that we could have as accurate a shot as we can. So I set up the box, it's about 70-80 feet away. Right now I'm going to be testing the precision and accuracy at range, considering such a small build. As always, goggles on, and let's get to shooting. Okay, so I just took the first 10 shots, so I'm gonna get up closer and check it out. Okay, so we can see in the grouping here that most of the shots hit in this circle. There are 2 shots that are just right outside of it. These 2 stragglers, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was like an inconsistency with the BB or the hop up. What I can tell you is that most of them stayed in that center grouping. You know, at 80 feet, it's a very big distance for something this short, but I still wanna test it even further. So I'm going to see if I put it all the way up against the wall. It's gonna be really hard to see, so I'm gonna do that. Oh wow, oh my god, look at that. All of them are in the center. Like literally, that's where the camera setup is, way over there, about 100 feet. Look at this spread. That is absolutely insane. It's literally all in here. Like there's only a couple of outside shots, and again, that could just be my swaying. I want you to understand, that is about the size of my hand at 100 feet away. That is the tightest grouping I've seen on a stock rifle yet. Now, I'm not saying that it's the tightest grouping that exists. There's probably a lot more that can do just the same or maybe better, who knows. But this is the tightest grouping I've seen on a stock rifle that I've used. This is absolutely crazy. All right, so I loaded up the magazine again, and this time I'm gonna do some really fast semi-shooting, and then I'm gonna show you what full auto looks like. I just wanna see what the trigger response is like, so let's try it. Looks like the gears got locked. It doesn't want to let me shoot. Yeah, so the gears locked up on the semi-burst, which is exactly what the mechanism on the motor is supposed to stop. But you know, nothing is infallible. So I'm going to show you guys like over the shoulder to try and see if you guys can see the line of BBs as I'm shooting it. So it looks like the exact thing that I was worried about is exactly what happened. So as I was shooting, you guys can see the trigger response was actually really good. Trigger feels a little bit squishy, which is not great. Since it's using the more traditional trigger, not the micro switch, it is a little bit like longer of a pull, but it is still capable of really high burst. The full auto is amazing. I love the rate of fire, but the biggest problem is the magazine. As you can hear, there's some jiggle in there. And this is a mid-cap magazine. There's not supposed to be any jiggle, which means that there is not enough spring tension to carry the BBs. So it was basically dry firing on me every other shot, and it was more shots that it wasn't shooting than those that were. These are the only magazines you can use with this rifle, and so far it hasn't proven to be a good one. So what can you do about it? I don't know if you can buy a replacement spring and try and get a tougher spring in here so that it would be able to push up the BBs, but even if you could, I don't want to have to upgrade my magazines in order to use my rifle. The biggest problem is no matter how good your rifle is, if you don't have a good magazine to feed it, it becomes worthless. So usually this wouldn't be a problem. I'd just be like, hey, the magazine that came in the box, surprise, surprise, wasn't great. I'll just buy another one. But these are all there is, and it's misfeeding a lot. That's a really big letdown. All right, so that being said, let's still talk about this overall. Overall, this rifle feels amazing. It shoots great. It has a very sturdy feel. Almost everything's metal. It's ambidextrous. It has the paddle release. It has a ton of things going for it that honestly just make it a great rifle. But my biggest problem with it is the magazine and the fact that you can't just get another one. So again, there's some investigation to be made to see if they're planning on fixing this problem, or if you can switch the spring out yourself and try and make it work, because this is a really good platform. It's a fun platform and it has amazing precision, amazing accuracy. Fire rate is great. So leave down in the comments below what you guys thought about this rifle. I'm very curious, since it's an M4 AK style, like, what do you think about the hybrid, and what do you think about the magazine problem? Do you think it's not that big a deal, that it can be easily fixed, or do you think that that is a deal breaker for you? And thanks again to Esteban for letting me use it for this video. I honestly cannot wait to see you field this absolute unit. But that is all for today's video. I really hope you guys liked it. Again, if you haven't joined the Discord, the link is down below, and remember to follow me on my Instagram and Facebook. So that's all. Have a nice day and stay sharp.